We've said it before, we're going to say it again and again and again and again before the week is up. It's peak summer season in Colorado, so it is hot. Thanks for joining us at 4 o'clock. I'm Kim Christensen.
And I'm Phil Lipoff. It's so hot that in some places, even the pavement is having trouble handling it. Take a look at this picture taken of a bike path along Highway 36 near the scenic overlook between Boulder and Superior. You can see that right. The city of Boulder says it's working on repairs, but if you see any buckling or heaving yourself, give them a call. Chief Weather Impact Meteorologist Kathy Sabin is here. It's so hot the pavement is buckling and there's no relief in sight. I know we've said that day after day, but it's what's happening.
It is. And remember, please, I'm the messenger here.
No shooting.
Yes. Not my fault. But I do bring tidings of joy and cooler weather, but not for a few days. And there's a chance for rain coming into Denver as well, but again, not for a few days. Some areas of the state are seeing showers and thunderstorms. Believe it or not, too much of a good thing. We had some flash flood warnings posted in western Colorado for slow-moving storms that were dropping an inch of rain in an hour. Today in Denver, though, the summer heat is here, and we're looking at temperatures above average, back in the mid-90s again today. Humidity values are up a little bit though, so that is one positive. The wind is also pretty gusty out of the east and southeast, and this southeast flow is keeping the clouds and storms from crossing the foothills and moving into Denver to cool us. But the wind is also keeping the worst of the smoke and haze to the west of our area. And we have those air quality alerts in effect in and around the fire zones and possibly back in effect for Denver, as we do have high levels of ozone and poor air quality. So those in the sensitive groups with respiratory issues, please be mindful of the time that you spend outdoors. Good news on the radar. We're seeing some showers moving from north to south, but also getting some thunderstorm wind gust reports of 40 and 50 miles per hour. These storms are tracking over the Ferris Fire and over the Aspen Acres Fire, but again, too much of a good thing for some areas. As I mentioned, we do have rain in the forecast and a cooler weather trend for Denver. I'll have all that in detail in just a bit.
New this afternoon, mandatory evacuations have been issued for the Elk Fire burning just north of Lake City. It's a relatively small fire, just over 500 acres at last check, but firefighters say they're dealing with high winds this afternoon and the fire is burning uncontained, so it could be much bigger than that. It's burning not far from the Gold Mountain Fire, that's northeast of Ouray. That fire is much larger, at nearly 37,000 acres, or 5 square miles. We also have new numbers that show the scope of the Wildfire burning 6 miles west of Leadville. Lake County now says the fire is threatening more than 1,100 structures. They have 229 people that have been evacuated. Thankfully, no structures have been lost yet in this fire. The Wildfire has burned 6,500 acres, or 10 square miles at last check. It's 28% contained. And we now know what started one of the 2 wildfires burning near Steamboat Springs. The Routt County Sheriff's Office says the Green Ridge Fire was started by a tractor baling hay. It's the smaller of the 2 at just 45 acres, but it has more firefighters working to contain it because it's closer to where people live. The Green Ridge Fire is 45% contained. The other fire, the Fishhook Fire, is more than 300 acres, burning uncontained on National Forest land.
In other news this evening, a man accused of randomly shooting 3 people in Aurora, we've been following this for you for quite some time now, is going to be a test case for a new state law. He can't stand trial because he's mentally ill, and this law is aimed at keeping him off the streets.
This measure took effect just about 2 months ago. Kevin Bond from 9 News Investigates joins us. And Kevin, before now, prosecutors really didn't have much of a choice but to release someone that couldn't stand trial.
Yeah, Kim and Phil, there have been several shocking instances in which people committed extremely serious and violent crimes, but after their charges were dismissed because of their mental health problems, authorities had no choice but to set them free. It's 2018 in Douglas County.
He drew that AR on me.
Austin Benson's accused of random shootings and charged with attempted murder. But he was mentally incompetent to stand trial, meaning he couldn't understand the proceedings or assist in his own defense. And by law, a judge had to dismiss the case.
Pretty chaotic scene tonight.
Fast forward to 2024. 3 people shot. Austin Benson again charged with attempted murder. And again, he's incompetent and the case will be dropped. But now, Arapahoe County prosecutors are working to make sure he's not put back out on the streets.
Some people are not going to get better.
they're going to need to be in a care setting for the rest of their life. And we have to acknowledge that.
State Senator Judy Amabile, a Boulder Democrat, sponsored a new law aimed at people like Austin Benson. Here's how it works. In a case like this, prosecutors file a motion to have the person committed to a secure mental health facility, such as the state hospital in Pueblo. The judge then holds a trial. Prosecutors have the burden of convincing the judge the person poses serious danger to themselves or others. The judge can order the person's commitment if the evidence is clear and convincing.
This is a very small number of people who we're trying to address with this bill. But nonetheless, these people are capable of doing great harm.
The judge in Benson's case has scheduled a 2-day trial in September. There is another case in Adams County involving a man accused of a 2020 murder. A judge is holding a series of hearings there to determine whether he meets the criteria. In other words, that he's been determined to be incompetent, and it's unlikely further treatment will change that. If that happens, as is expected, prosecutors there plan to invoke this law and attempt to convince the judge he should be committed to a locked mental health center. Live in the studio, Kevin Vaughn, 9 News.
I think what's interesting in this, and you've followed this many times, is it's not like you've got defense and prosecutors on opposite sides. Everybody feels they agree this has to be done.
Absolutely. Austin Benson's defense attorneys have agreed for more than a year that he needed to be in a secure facility, that he is dangerous.
Thank you, Kevin. Today marks 10 years since the disappearance of a teen in Aurora. Police say they will never give up on the case. Lashea Stein was 16 at the time that she disappeared. She left her home about 2 in the morning on July 15, 2016. Surveillance video shows her walking near East Montview in Peoria. That's the last known sighting of her. Back in 2020, officers spent 3 days searching a home about a mile from there. To this day, it's unclear what, if anything, they found.
We are learning more tonight after the Adams County Health Department says it tried to investigate an active case of tuberculosis it confirmed in the ICE processing facility in Aurora. Public health leaders say ICE is blocking their access to investigate how far the tuberculosis has spread. 9 News reporter Rachel Krause joins us now from outside the ICE processing facility in Aurora. And Rachel, both the health department and the state say they are calling on the facility to let them in.
Yeah, the Adams County Health Department says for weeks they have been asking to investigate the GEO Group. The private prison contractors that operate the facility haven't allowed it. The Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment sent a letter to the GEO Group calling for their immediate cooperation to protect the public's health.
This person dropped into the epicenter of TB knowledge in the United States.
Colorado is no stranger to tuberculosis. The town, a destination for sick patients a century ago. National Jewish Health was founded to help. Dr. David Griffith says even today, tuberculosis cases crop up.
No, it's not surprising. TB will never be eradicated.
The Adams County Health Department announced Tuesday it confirmed a case of active tuberculosis in a detainee in the Aurora ICE processing facility. Griffiths worries it will spread.
Unquestionably. They need to be taken out of a setting where they might transmit the disease to a large number of people.
What happens next should be clear, but in a statement, an ICE spokesperson says Aurora doesn't currently have any confirmed cases of active tuberculosis. Colorado law requires public health officials investigate to see how many people have been infected, get them tested and on medication. But Adams County and state leaders say they're not being allowed in to do that.
Big mistake. One individual in an unprotected congregate setting can result in large numbers of infected people.
You can have active TB where you have active disease and symptoms like pneumonia, coughing, and shortness of breath. Some have inactive or latent tuberculosis where your body has controlled it but hasn't gotten rid of the infection. Testing can ID cases. Griffith says that's needed. Many in the facility may have latent TB and could now be exposed.
The congregate setting is a real headache, but it does have the advantage that you identify people and treat them.
In the U.S., TB care works because it's highly regimented.
The chance of cure for this person, even with drug-resistant TB, is 90+%.
Griffith says diligence with medication here is critical, but treatable when done right.
It would be an embarrassment for something like this to happen and not be adequately managed.
I reached out to the GEO group with questions about how this is being handled. They sent us to ICE, who sent us a statement that says, quote, as of today, Aurora does not have any confirmed active tuberculosis cases. That same spokesperson also says that ICE is complying with state and federal guidelines. Reporting live in Aurora, Rachel Krause, 9 News.
That's still not the answers we're looking for, though.
Well, yeah, so concerning, and you can understand why public health officials, given the history here in Colorado alone, know how serious this could be.